We got some news to get into today, boys. It's officially live. Patch 12.1 is here, and there's things to do, stuff to be done, snakes to be slaughtered, and coily boys to coil up with, I guess. We also got some things to talk about as far as the patch launch goes. Was pretty good, and things that you could be doing this week. So let's just jump straight in here. Exploring the Coiled Isles in 12.1. You can now explore the isle that is the Coiled Up Isle next to the upper half of the Eastern Kingdoms. And guys, this whole week is basically about exploring the island, doing the storyline, and maybe running some Mythic Zeros and some Delves. So check this out real quick. First of all, yes, you can enter the mists of the Coiled Isles. The isle is now unlocked during the Curse of Ulatek campaign, which starts with what lies beyond the fog, sending players to the isle proper. A flight path will be unlocked and available for all Warband characters once you do the introductory quest line. So getting over there. Also, looks like there's a portal here, so flying to the isle enables the start, so the player can simply fly from Zulaman, though it is not the fastest way around. After completing the Prey Season 2 introduction, players will have a portal from Astralor's Sanctum and Silvermoon that'll actually take them to the isle. So that's the quickest way. I didn't realize that there was another reason to do the Prey system. There you go. You can unlock a portal. Coiled Isle events to get into this week. Obviously, the World Boss. He is only current, or she is only current available. I don't know. Is it a he or she? Do Naga have dicks? I don't know. I'm digressing here. Anyways, that's the question of the year. World Boss is the only difficulty available for this World Boss right now. So, yes, it is World Boss difficulty of the World Boss. That is what it's called. There is also normal, heroic, and mythic difficulties unlocking later next week. So, you'll be able to do that. Get some pretty good gear, honestly. I'll talk about the item levels, recommended item levels to get this done this week and future weeks, and this thing will drop some good gear throughout the season too, so you're going to want to check this one out. This is the new style of World Boss inside of a lair. Zuljara's forces, Shadowpine, Witherbark, Raventusk, and Amani soldiers act as one unit. From under Zuljara's leadership, the army takes a battle against the Malakras and Ulatek of the Coiled Isles. Helping the forces, so this is all about world quests, several new profession recipes, new mounts to be gotten, the Indigo Coiled Horror, and new transmog, obviously. So all the world quests and everything that you'll be able to do out there, you can unlock some pretty cool stuff. The Vaults of Ulatek is the underground area. This also has world quests, a new tree system that you can do, the Altar of Corrosion, which will actually empower you to do more. And then the new Perpetual World event, Defeat the Ancient Foes. Also new cosmetic rewards to be had from here. There's also Cursed Surges, Cursed Fishing, and Captain Toa. So if you're a fan of fishing, and I'll talk about this a little bit more in a second here, there's a lot to do. A lot of fishing stuff to get into. Cursed Surges are more of the same kind of world events that you'll be able to do this week. Get into those. Obviously, a bunch of stuff that you can get from that. If you're an alt person right now or starting a new character, there's lots of great gear to get from that and more, of course. There's tons of other guides out there that you'll be able to check out. There's a full guide right here. I'll link this in the chat and down below for all the things that you can get done. But this is not the only thing that went live this week, guys. Huge class changes. Huge class changes were implemented just yesterday as the patch went through. And yeah, some classes have completely new abilities, new rotations, everything else going on. So if you need an updated class guide, you can click here. I'll link this in the chat and down below as well. Fully bored out, brand new, updated class guides. Check out my Blood DKs. We're going to be the biz tanks of the season. I'm real excited for this. Check out this guide. Now, I usually am the guide. People watch my streams to learn how to play Blood DK, so I don't know if I'm going to read this or not. We also got our new best in slots updated here, so this looks great, and a few other things. So get into this stuff. Check out your class guide, learn your rotation. We also have a tier list here and everything else that you can get in terms of trinkets. So a big kind of a smorgasbord, I guess you want to call it, of class stuff to get into here. So if you want to get into it, go ahead and do that. It's now linked down below and in the chat. Season 2 dungeon guides. So we have, yes, Season 2 is not officially underway, but the Season 2 pool of dungeons is now open for us to get into on a Mythic 0 level. Okay, what that means for this week, everything Mythic 0 is one-time run and done this week. So you can do a world tour, basically, go through all the dungeons. They do drop 292 champion track gear, so that's pretty high for a lot of people. Upgradable, I think, to 305 or 303 on that. So, yeah, that's definitely an upgrade for a lot of people. get in there, get those done, get some new gear. There's full guides here for all the dungeons. Obviously, a lot of these dungeons are returning, but so many changes have been implemented in a lot of these dungeons. They're going to feel new. Some of the most annoying pain points of a lot of these dungeons have been removed. Some of these boss fights have been redesigned. And then obviously we have the Altar of Fangs, which is a brand new dungeon. You got your little list of important things here, your little key card that you can take with you into the dungeon. Important interrupts here for all of you parsing Andes out there who are not going to interrupt shit. This is the stuff you should be watching for. Important dispels and important purges as well. So there you go. Also, Void Scar Arena tips. Yes, there's plenty of changes here. Tough kind of tips on how to do all this. There's also tips and tricks for all these dungeons. So again, I'll link this one in the chat and down below as well for anybody who wants a little guide on how to get some of this stuff done. So this is pretty cool. Moving on to the Captain Toa friendship. Guys, I talked about this briefly earlier. Fishing. Fishing is going to matter. Yeah, fishing matters again. Blizzard's giving fishing some love here. So Captain Toa, for those of you who don't know, he's a Tortolan out there in the new Coiled Isle, and you'll actually be able to get into kind of a fishing relationship with him. So along with the new reputation that he has comes new transmogs, a companion, a new mount, and a new mount. However, earning the Sea-Dwelling Isle Serpent may not be as easy as you think. So this is the mount. Probably one of the cooler snake colorways, I'll be honest. This blue and green, it's a pretty badass looking colorway here. Probably one of my favorite ones of this mount so far. So getting this is going to be a little bit difficult though. You're going to really have to fish a lot here. So the first step to unlocking this, you're going to have to go through the Toka's crew storyline, which allows players to earn reputation with the new faction, unlock daily quests from the crew members and nearby isles of and the nearby island of Toka's Folly. The quest line becomes available upon completing the whole new, storyline quest, Original Sin. So once you do that, you'll be able to meet your boy Toa here and start fishing. Continuing into completing daily quests like open sea fishing world events, defeating randomly spawning Grenadier Birdie will contribute as well to filling out the faction's reputation bar. After reaching the final reputation achievement, Captain Toa's crew, you'll get the Coiled Huntress, which will become available for purchase. This is a fishing tool, a new fishing rod. Okay, tool, that's, it's an epic one, so this is pretty cool. You'll be able to purchase it for 6,000 Void Light Mar. Now, what this thing does is it actually allows you to change forms into a water moccasin. This reminds me of my days in Florida. Beware of water moccasins. So, yeah, you can turn into a little snaky boy and swim around in the water at a 150% swim increase speed. So that's pretty cool. This is, another little fishing rod for people out there. However, one of the most important benefits of the new rod is the ability to gain stacks of this new thing here. So this new thing is called a Coiled Filament. These stacks of venom can be cleansed, so you'll actually build up stacks of venom while you're fishing with your new rod, and they can be combined into a Coiled Filament. Let me see, how many of these stacks do you need? You take your venom stacks, cleanse them by Sea Sage Polo. They don't say how many you need, but you'll convert them into coiled filaments. You need 2,500 coiled filaments, so I'm guessing one stack creates one filament, which will allow you to purchase the Sea-Dwelling Isle Serpent, which is the cool mount that we just looked at. 2,500 of them. That's going to be quite a bit of fishing. I'm not sure how quickly those venom stacks stack up or anything like that, but it's going to matter in terms of, just getting out there fishing and building up your stacks, basically. Once you do that, you can purchase the Sea-Dwelling Isle Serpent, as I mentioned before, for a few Void Light Marl, and you'll have yourself probably one of the cooler, like I said, honestly, one of the cooler colorways of this, and it's all a fishing thing. Blizzard showing some love to the fishing boys. Look at that. That's pretty cool, actually. This is like the Legion fishing rod. Exactly, Tundra Freeze. This is just like the Legion fishing rod. And honestly, feels like the first time Blizzard's shown some love to fishing since Legion. So, I'm going to do that. I might do this one too, actually. This does sound like something fun to casually do in the background. Moving on. Blizzardness known issues. Okay, as far as patch launches go, guys, I think it's been pretty smooth. It's been a good patch launch. We got to give, we like to bitch Blizzard out when the patch is broken. We got to give them credit when it's not. Seems like this patch has been pretty good. So far, these are the known issues. As far as blueprints go, importing exteriors from different plots can result in undesirable orientations. So I guess some of the shit's arranged in a weird way. As far as decor items go, dyes cannot be applied to spiral wood stairs. Dyes can't be applied to the razor wing roofers shingles. Textures from connected rooms may clip through. Well, clipping in WoW is not a big deal. An adjoining wall in the Stormwind kitchen, and plans a renderai anvil cannot be refunded, interestingly enough. Other features, the entry room for a house cannot be moved to another location in the house. And then locals who visit Razorwind Shores may spawn in mid-air. Okay, so make sure you got your Goblin Glider ready for that one. As far as user interface goes, the help tip that appears next to the quest indicating that it can be tracked may reappear even after it has been closed. As far as training grounds go, there's a couple issues. The training battle button can be clicked again after you've already entered. The losing team may sometimes receive a message incorrectly stating that the winning team actually surrendered, and the scoreboard displays unnecessary rounds 1 column. So there you go. Some minor issues, honestly. Not much going on in terms of issues, which is great to see. For those just returning, there's a bunch of guides here that you can check out as well. It is a good time to return, honestly. If you want to get back into the game, you're basically midpoint in the World Soul Saga. Other issues that were discovered that kind of were mentioned in that Boo post, and we're not really sure if this is an issue or not, but some people can get 3 sparks this week. So right now, most people have access to 2 sparks. If you're wondering, hey, what are sparks? They're for crafting. Okay, and getting sparks is important, especially early season. There are biz items, best in slot items that are craftable. A lot of items take 2 sparks, but two-handed weapons take 4 sparks. So getting more sparks quickly is important. For some people, their best weapon is a two-handed crafted weapon. Now, why some people can get 2 sparks, interestingly enough, goes back to the beginning of this expansion, from a quest that was made available to people at the very beginning. Now, this is why only some people can do it. If you did this quest, the Midnight World Tour, you can no longer do it. And most people who started the Midnight expansion probably did this quest in the first season and got their extra spark. Well, if you didn't do the quest, or you made a new alt or something, you can now do this quest for the first time. So you can actually get yourself a crest or a spark head start on everybody else if you didn't do this quest, or you're new to the game, or you made a new character. So this is a weird one. Blizzard might change it up. We're not sure exactly how Blizzard's going to handle this yet, or if it's intended. And hey, you didn't take your spark from the last season, well, you saved it for this season. So there's your extra spark. Those people next week will be able to craft two-handed weapons before everyone else, because they'll get their 4th spark and be able to get that done. So we'll see what happens here going forward. Blizzard hasn't really talked about it yet, but yeah, right now, some people can get that extra crest. They'll just get the crest they should have already gotten. Yeah, basically. But it's a Season 2 available crest instead of Season 1, so it's a bit different. Layer grouping. There was an issue with layer grouping where people were grouping up for layers, and if you don't know, when you queue up for a group in layers, you automatically spawn into the layer where the boss is. Well, some people were queuing for layers, then spawning into a layer where either the boss just dies instantly because it was already almost dead, or the boss fight has begun. There's only a couple percentage points left. Honestly, maybe I'm a lazy-ass bum, but I wouldn't complain about that shit. Sounds like a gift. You get spawned in, and then you get to loot the corpse of the boss, and fucking it was at 2% when you got spawned in. Well, that wasn't what Blizzard intended. So from now on, once the boss is officially pulled, nobody will be pulled into that queue anymore. So once the combat has begun with the boss, nobody will be brought in. If you queue up after that boss has been pulled, you will be brought into a fresh one with fresh players. So there you go. That's how that's going to work. It's currently an issue. Blizzard did say they dropped a hotfix for it, so that's no longer a problem for players. If you now queue up, you will no longer be brought into a boss fight that has already begun. Rip fun. Yeah, I know, right? Who the hell complained about this shit? Also, Blizzard updated the kind of recommended item level for these. So here's your recommended item level to get into these. 273 for the world version of this right now. That's the only version available of this boss for this week. Normal, heroic, and mythic will open up next week when Season 2 officially goes live. Yes, you're looking at it right. Mythic difficulty of a world boss, technically, will give you 318 myth track gear. Yeah, this is a good source, and it's going to give you myth crest, so you're going to probably want to do this all season. I mean, this is something that a lot of people, typically the world boss is something you do it the first week and then you forget about it. You don't do it anymore because you've outgeared it. Well, not this time, and that's probably what Blizzard's intention was here. So yeah, definitely going to be worth getting, even on heroic difficulty. I mean, 305, heroic 1 of 6 gear, and heroic crests to go with it. Yeah, something that I'm going to want for sure, so I'll be doing this boss probably on a weekly basis. Blizzard also has to restore some missing items. If you killed Season 1 bosses at the end of Season 1, basically in the last couple hours the servers were up, you may have noticed that your trophies for your home are missing. That's right. So yeah, killing bosses in the game does reward you with various trophies or specific bosses that you can get trophies for. The silver version is for killing them on any difficulty. Heroic version gives you the gold. And then the gleaming, kind of the glowing gold version is for killing these bosses on mythic difficulty. Some players were missing them. Blizzard said they're working on a fix for this. Over the next week, you should be able to get your trophies and display them proudly in your homes. New items have been data mined. For 2026 BlizzCon, potentially. That's right, it looks like these new items are attached to BlizzCon here. So we have the aquatic clockwork quack and the classic clockwork quacker. So this is interesting here. What does this mean? Is this a hint at the last Titan? I don't know, kind of robotic, Titan-esque maybe. Hint at Tinker's coming to WoW. I don't want to get into that shit right now. But yeah, there's some pets coming. Well, it looks like with BlizzCon. Not sure how those are going to work or how we're going to get them. Also some promotional pets here that were dropped. We're not sure exactly how we're going to get these, but they are showing up in the pet journal and they are tagged as promotion. So where these pets come from, they're tagged as some sort of promotion. And hey, player housing now live with pets, right? Pets in your home everywhere now, so pets matter a little bit more than they used to, maybe. So we'll see when we actually end up getting these. And finally, if you're coming back to WoW, maybe you want to transfer a character or play with your friends, there's a big sale going on this week. So up until September 13th, there will be a 33% off on game services and 40% off on the Midnight expansion. So if you're thinking about coming back or thinking about having any of these game services done for you, yeah, it's a good time to do it before September 14th. Get that shit done, and you'll get 33% off on game services, 50% off at Midnight. I definitely think it's a good time to come back. I think the game's in a good place. Excited for Season 2. Gonna go journey through the Coiled Isles right now. So for today, that is all in terms of news.